Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining in with us this morning. Just give you a heads up and give it a couple more seconds to let everyone join in and get situated, and we will get started with today's session. Cool. So it sounds like most people have joined in. So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining the virtual college exploration put on by CACRAO and as well as Strive Scan. Just a couple of housekeeping before we get started. This is a Zoom webinar format, so we cannot hear you or see you whatsoever. If you have any questions, please put it in the Q&A function, which you can find at the top of your screen or right toward the bottom. You can put any kind of questions in there, and our presenters will be able to address any of them questions for you. Don't forget, we will be recording this session in about a week. It will be available for you. You can find it on our website, www.cacrao.org. And you can also sign up for more sessions that will take place this week as well as next week. At this point, though, I will turn over to ECU.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Justin. Thank you so much to everyone joining in. I will go ahead and get started by introducing myself. My name is Sydney Leister. I am a transfer admissions counselor here at ECU, and I'm also an alum. So I did get my undergraduate degree here, and I was a transfer student as well. So not only am I currently recruiting transfer students, but it's definitely part of my educational experience here, and that definitely gives a really great personal tie. But today what I'll do, I'll go ahead and introduce you to ECU, or maybe remind you of some things we have to offer. That's probably why you're listening in and interested, some academic portions, and then I'll go through the transfer admissions process as well as campus life at ECU. And then I'll go ahead and open the floor to questions, but feel free. I do have a colleague in that will be answering questions throughout. So if you feel like you want to just ask it during, go ahead and do so using that Q&A feature Justin mentioned. Now, I want to go ahead and highlight some ECU campus items first. So some students don't even realize that ECU has more than just our main campus. So ECU does have an Outer Banks campus. So if you're familiar with the Outer Banks, it's not far from Manteo, and it houses our full master's and doctoral level programs in coastal studies, but we also have some undergraduate programs that our undergraduate students can live out there for an entire semester, knock out credits. Obviously, if you're interested in coastal studies, those minors are an option. Hopefully within the next 5 years, we'll have a full undergrad program, but we'll see what happens there. We also have our health sciences campus. I'm here to put money on it that at least one person listening in is interested in one of our health science programs: nursing, dental school, medical school, PA school, physical therapy, speech and hearing sciences, nutrition. That's all housed at our health science campus. It's about 3 miles away from our main campus, and it has its own gym, Starbucks, so it's definitely one of its own standalone campuses. And then of course our athletics facilities. So those are only about a mile away from main campus. They were just recently named Grady Boats Athletics Campus. So that is exciting. So on the picture on your screen is our Dowdy Ficklen Stadium. It just received a huge upgrade of box level seats, but of course Minji's Coliseum is out there, track field, all that good stuff. And then our West Research campus. This is definitely near and dear to our heart. We're a doctoral research institution. I'll talk about this in a second, but this houses, like you see in the picture, artifacts, equipment for research. And then of course, main campus, it's going to span 1,400 acres. So it's actually pretty compact. It's not spread all across Greenville. So you can really walk from end to end in about 15 to 20 minutes. And I'll highlight real quick about main campus. We're actually allowing tours. So if you feel comfortable coming to campus, it's going to be, of course, very small. No students are here, and we follow all the guidelines. But if you feel comfortable, haven't visited, definitely take advantage of that. Now, transition into some facts and figures about ECU. So we were founded in 1907. We were actually founded as a teaching college. And still to this day, as you see in the next bullet point, we have the largest college of education, but we also have the largest college of nursing, business, and allied health sciences. So we produce the most nurses, educators, and healthcare providers in the state of North Carolina. But then on top of that, we're the only North Carolina state school with a full college of engineering, dental school, and medical school at one institution. Super random, it sounds super random, but what that does is give us biomedical and bioprocess engineering at one school. And like I said, I'll talk about some research opportunities in a second that definitely tie into that fact. We also have well over 180,000 living alumni. Like I said, I am one of those, but a few of my favorites, if you've ever heard of BB&T, Kelly King, the CEO, he is a 2-time alum. He got his undergrad and his MBA with us. If you have ever watched Bird Box or Blind Side, Sandra Bullock, she stars in both. She's also an alum. And if you ever have heard of WWE, Vince McMahon and his wife both came to ECU. So those are just a few of my favorites. I always tell students, if you have extra time on your hands tonight, Google alumni to the school you're interested in, which is kind of a fun, weird thing to do, but you can see obviously famous people or just people that might be doing things that you're interested in. So that's the only homework I'll throw at you. Then our current population is going to be just over 29,000 students. So we're the 4th largest state school, so pretty big institution. 23,000 of those students are undergraduate students, which is where you'll start. The one thing that ECU definitely brags about is going to be that we have a smaller school feel though. Obviously with tying in, I talked about main campus, it's a smaller feel campus, but the class sizes are definitely going to be a smaller feel as well. So that average class size is 28. It definitely reigns true for our transfer students because you're bringing in your obviously freshman and sophomore level courses. You're jumping right into your major level courses, which are always much smaller with that 19:1 student faculty ratio. Now, my favorite bullet point is our transfer numbers. So we have about 5,000 transfer applications every year and enroll 2,500 transfer students. So you are not alone. There are tons of transfer students. We bring sometimes the most transfer students almost in the state of North Carolina into ECU. So that's something that I always let students know. You're not the only one transferring. It's an incredible option. And over 70% of those students come from a North Carolina community college, like probably most of you listening in on this session. Now, Greenville real quick. Maybe some of you have visited, maybe you've never even heard of it or been. It is Greenville, North Carolina, but we are considered a mid-sized city. So that's going to be about 93,000 population size, not including our students. So just to give you an idea of the size of the city, that could be extremely large depending on where you're from or super small, just kind of depends, but mid-size. We definitely have a lot of different arts and entertainment district within our uptown or downtown as it used to be called, but we're about an hour and a half from Raleigh and then only an hour and a half from the closest public access beach. But I always point out how close we are to the water. So we have our major river that runs through the city itself, but we're close to the Pamlico Sound, which lets out into the ocean. So if you do like to paddleboard, kayak, have a boat, that's also a cool thing about where we're located. But we're definitely the quintessential college town. So any normal fall, obviously football season would be going on. There would be purple and gold everywhere, but we have a purple and gold BB&T, purple and gold fire trucks. So there's just purple and gold everywhere. So the city loves having the school here. The students love being here. It's very much that college town feel. Now, some colleges and schools, total we have 12. 8 of them are academic. They're on the left side of your screen. So I did mention several of these already. Some ones that we're well known for are the largest in the state, but a couple I love to also highlight. So our College of Fine Arts and Communication, some of those programs are amongst the best in the Southeast region of the United States. So that's going to be music, theater, and dance. And then of course, our College of Health and Human Performance that houses our School of Social Work, Public Health, but also some of our sports studies programs. So if you're interested in like athletic training eventually, that is something that is also a big part of ECU. Now the Honors College, we do have a Transfers Honor College. I will talk about that in a second, but then we also have our dental school. Brody School of Medicine is nationally ranked for family medicine, and then grad school. So a lot of our students just continue right on within their program they're in. So maybe you're listening in, maybe you know exactly what you want to study, maybe you have absolutely no idea where you want to start. Either way, it's okay. That first link is going to be ecu.edu/degrees. If you go to that website, it has all of our 176 degrees total. 84 of those are baccalaureate level or undergraduate level. You can click on the degree. You can see what's the difference of getting that degree at ECU. It'll tell you exactly what classes you need, if there's an internship component, clinical hours, basically what do you need to graduate. Then it will list jobs our students typically get with that degree, and then you can dig deeper and see how much money they're making. So that is a great place to start. If you think you know, you can explore that degree, see if it fits your interests. Now, if you're listening in and you know that ECU is the leader in the state of North Carolina for online undergraduate degrees, you might know, oh, I want to be online. I always suggest double checking the program you want to do is online. So ecu.edu/online. It'll list all of our undergrad programs that can be completed online because not all 84 of them are offered online. So definitely please check that before applying and reach out if you have any questions regarding those online programs. Now, I told you I would brag a little bit about research. So ECU, again, we're a doctoral research institution. I believe we're the 3rd largest in the state for that. What that means is every single one of our professors is conducting research in some way, shape, or form. The cool part about ECU is some of our classes will obviously require some form of research, but then outside of the classroom, roughly 30% of our undergraduate students are able to get involved with research. So that is a great opportunity. Obviously, like the picture, it is definitely for the life sciences. If you're interested in any type of medical pre-professional program like that, it's super helpful, but it definitely spans beyond just the life sciences. So business has research. My most favorite psychology, a professor, she studies how dogs help with mental health and PTSD. And so she does a lot of military research with us. So it definitely goes beyond just the life sciences like in the picture. It's something to take advantage of. It looks great for a resume, but it's just really incredible hands-on learning. So take advantage of that if you choose to come to ECU. But then outside of the classroom itself, study abroad programs are a huge part normally at ECU. So we have over 200 study abroad programs every year, roughly 70 connections worldwide. Our newest, latest, greatest was ECU Tuscany. So you could live there for an entire year, take your credits. If you like pizza, pasta, it's a good option. Totally a joke. They don't go well over the virtual setting, but I say them anyway. But apart from obviously not doing them currently, so they're all on hold, of course, because of everything going on in the world, we are doing global diversity classrooms. We actually did this for years and years before COVID, but this is something we've definitely continued to do despite everything going on. So what this is, it is a classroom that you're in here on campus or obviously online right now, and you'll be taking a classroom with students in Peru or Mexico or a different country. You'll be connected with a student in that classroom, do projects with them, and so it's a great way to get that cultural diversity without leaving the country. So that's something we've continued to do. It's very much still a part of ECU. So obviously there are so many different ways to get involved at ECU, different on-campus events, different ways to get involved in the classroom, projects, like I said, hands-on learning, study abroad, but really the goal is to graduate, right? You want to come to ECU for 4 years. You don't want to be here forever. Maybe you do, that's great. But the goal is to graduate, and ECU is very much set on that end goal. So career-oriented all the way. So scrolling on your screen is not an exhaustive list by any means, but a list of companies that we have students working for currently, or alumni working for, obviously, internships, co-ops. We actually host some of the largest career fairs in the state of North Carolina. So these companies come and are a part of that. But our career center here at ECU is focused to help you build your resume writing skills, cover letter skills, interview skills, and every single college or school has at least one career counselor that you're gonna have access to from the second you step foot on campus to graduating. And then you even have access to all of their online resources after graduating as an alum. So that's a huge resource that I always point out. As soon as you start at ECU, if you choose to be a pirate, take advantage of those career resources. But some other academic and support resources, of course, professional academic advising. So if you're interested in pre-professional programs, so anything like pre-vet, pre-med, pre-pharmacy, pre-law, you name it, pre-dental, we have a pre-professional advising center. So you'll be assigned someone in pre-professional advising, and then whatever your program is, you'll have 2 advisors. And then of course, some of our programs, I'll mention Pirate Promise, you'll get access to advising as well. One of my favorites on this screen is the Pirate Academic Success Center. So this is, if you will, the tutoring center, but I always say throw away everything you think of when you think of a tutoring center. So this is one of a kind in the state. No other school has anything like it. It's going to be included in your tuition. You can walk in, or obviously right now, call it anytime. Sign up for either group help, one-on-one help, whatever you prefer. You don't have to be recommended by a professor. You do not have to be failing a course. You don't lock in for a certain amount of time. It is all access with well over 200 classes, and it's there to help you succeed. So it's all about access. Yes, it can be for the student maybe struggling through a course, or it could be for the student that really wants to get an A in anatomy. So it's for everyone. And even despite everything going on, their numbers have still been up. So they are still helping students succeed, get B's and A's in classes, even though everything's virtual, which I think is awesome. Of course, we have our University Writing Center, so assist with those writing skills, which definitely transition into the career like I talked about earlier. But then dedicated faculty is a huge thing at ECU. So hopefully if you talk to any alumni, they can attest to this. Our faculty members want to know you as a person. They want to know your name. They don't see you as a number. They want you to get involved in their research. They're absolutely here for your success. My favorite example, we had an accounting professor a couple years ago go viral on Twitter. So he had a student email him, needed help on a final. This professor came, met him at the library on campus, and there was a picture of him helping the student study for the final. So that's just a very small example. I have examples from my own time here at ECU, but ECU's faculty members are one of a kind for sure. So I'll go ahead and transition into the admissions process. So if you fell asleep, this is like the most important process. So definitely wake up for this part. So rolling admissions is our kind of process for transferring. What that means is as soon as I get all of your documents, I'll get you a decision in about 2 to 4 weeks. So the deadlines are on your screen. So if you're still interested in this upcoming January, you have about 12 days, 13 days to apply. But all I'm gonna need for your application to be complete, your application, your fee, and all official transcripts. So if you've attended more than one institution, we'll need official transcripts from all institutions. And if your current courses aren't listed, go ahead, take a screenshot and send those to our office. So the minimum criteria to get into ECU, I'm going to preface this by saying this will allow you into the university. It does not guarantee you admission into some of the competitive programs, for example, nursing, engineering, nutrition, speech and hearing sciences, and so on. But minimum to transfer is going to be 24 transferable credit hours, including our English 1100s, that's like an English 1, Composition 1, a minimum 2.0 cumulative GPA. If you have that, you're good to go. We will offer an unofficial credit evaluation. So if you wanted to know how many transferable credit hours you have so far, you can actually email just an unofficial screenshot of what credits you have, and we can look through it for you. I'll show you that email at the end. But of course, once you're admitted, you will get an official evaluation. That takes about 2 weeks. So if anybody listening in, you're already admitted, give it about 2 weeks because it is a manual process done by our registrar's office. So some resources real quick. If you do decide to email the transfer email, this is definitely where we're going to point you to go. So transfer.ecu.edu. It's going to go through basically what I went through. So how to apply. It has a great FAQ page. It has a really nice PDF to explore, help you explore some majors. So if you're not sure what you want to study, this can be a really helpful tool. And then of course we have our credit course equivalency tool. So if you wanted to try and do an evaluation yourself, you literally will select the state you're in, which college you're at, and it will tell you exactly how your credits transfer over. So you can get an idea before even applying how many credits you have at ECU. And then of course, if you're at a current North Carolina Community College, so one of the 58, the 4-year degree plans, I highly, highly suggest, especially if you're within the first year at the community college. What this is, it has all of our 84 undergraduate degrees listed, and it'll tell you what we require or prefer within an AA degree or an AS, so Associate of Arts or an Associate of Science. So it'll tell you what to take, how it transfers, and give you a nice 4-year plan once you transfer over. And then of course our transfer events are listed. Those are all virtual currently, but you can check those out. We're doing a panel, a transfer panel next week. So if you're interested and want to hear from current transfer students, you can actually listen in and ask them questions that they can answer and give you an idea of what it's really like to be a transfer student at ECU right this minute. And then I said I would mention Pirate Promise. So Pirate Promise is a co-admission agreement we have with 36 North Carolina community colleges in the system. So if you're at a participating community college within Pirate Promise, this is going to guarantee you admission if you're a full-time student completing a transfer associate's degree with a 2.5 GPA. You have to be within your first year, but it's going to give you access to things on campus, discounted student tickets to home games, access to the library, online resources, like I said, advising, you get an ID card. So it's a really great program if you're within your first year at the community college, if they're participating college. So financial aid or free money, I always highlight this. So FAFSA, that has opened for next year. So if you're listening in and you know you want to transfer for fall 2021, make sure you go fill that out at ECU. You can actually add up to 11 schools. So if you're looking at maybe transferring to other institutions, you can add all of them up there. And then of course, whichever one you decide, you just accept that aid. So if you are looking to start next fall, go ahead, like I said, submit FAFSA. We release that information typically mid-March. So around by the end of March, you should know how much you're being awarded as long as you've been admitted prior to then. Now, university scholarships, some more free money the institution's just giving out to students. So that website there, you can actually go to and review the scholarships. So you can go in and see what scholarships are available. There's roughly 100 of them. Some of them are transfer specific. They range anywhere from $600 to $5,000 a year. You do have to apply early. So if you want to take advantage of scholarships the first year, you have to be admitted typically no later than, I would say, December 15th range, because those are all going to close January 15th. That is a hard close, doesn't ever get extended. Now, a great scholarship opportunity, but definitely beyond scholarship, is our Transfer Honors College. So you must apply and get everything to us by December 8th and be eligible in order to apply to Honors College. So what makes you eligible? You have to have 24 hours completed with a 3.5 GPA, and that will make you eligible. So as long as you apply with that criteria by December 8th and are admitted, then you'll go ahead and be invited to apply to our Honors College. It is a guaranteed $2,500 for 5 semesters with us, but it's definitely more than that. So it's definitely community. You'll be taking 2 different seminar classes and get involved in research within those. So it's very much a cohort as well. So it's beyond just the scholarship. You really get to build relationships with professors and other students. So if anyone listening in is admitted, what are your next steps? Or if you're listening in, this is just going to be a great way to be ahead of the game. So pay attention no matter what. But we do have an incredible interactive admitted student checklist. So once you're admitted, you'll log in and it'll mark everything off for you. So of course, you'll need to set up though your ID first, access that PI report, and it'll go ahead and mark everything off. So you'll review your credit evaluation. Takes 2 weeks though. So if you're listening, hasn't been 2 weeks, give it a little time, but then you'll submit your enrollment deposit, orientation, registration, and it all just kind of rolls from there. So those are your next steps if you are admitted. Great, so I'll go ahead and transition into a couple campus life things, and then, like I said, open the floor to any questions. So housing and dining. Dining, we actually have 37 locations now, including our brand new student center. So some really big names, several Starbucks, of course. We have Chili's on campus, Chick-fil-A, Subway, so on. We have local food trucks actually come to campus, which I think is awesome. And then of course we have our Starbucks truck. We do offer commuter meal plans. I'll kind of come back to that in a second. So on-campus housing is not required. It is a great option for transfer students. They do live with either other transfer students or upperclassmen in a suite style dorm. So it's going to be bedroom, shared living space, connected bathroom. So you have your own connected bathroom. We do offer a living learning community for transfer students. It's called Quest. It's free to apply for. It'll allow you to live with other transfer students. So if you don't know anyone coming to ECU, really great way to get connected. And then of course you can live off campus. So if you already know you want to live off campus, this website here is extremely helpful. I always tell students to utilize it. It is going to list student-specific apartment complexes. So if you have a dog, you really need to bring your dog with you. Totally get it. You can definitely narrow it down by any specification, price, number of bedrooms, animals, you name it. And then these are going to be student-specific apartment complexes so that you make sure, obviously, you're living with other students. Now, if you live on campus, you'll automatically have a meal plan. If you choose to live off campus, you can purchase a commuter meal plan. That commuter meal plan is fantastic if you're going to be on campus a lot. It's going to be discounted meals. So it's a really great way to save money. And so that is not required, just a really, really great option. Now, how to get involved to end it on campus life. So we have 16 Division I sports teams. We are part of the American Athletic Conference. I always say that might mean something for some of you, nothing for others, totally okay. But you will get a student ticket for all regular season home games. We do have the largest student booster club in the state of North Carolina, as far as I still know. And we do have 2 student recreation centers, one on main campus, one on the health science campus. We've got club sports, intramurals, which are fantastic, some beautiful space for those as well. And then well over 500 student organizations. So you name it, we probably have it. If you go to engage.ecu.edu, you can search for what you're looking for. If let's say we don't have it, you can actually get it started pretty easily. So that's a great way to get involved. A lot of them are learning service-based. And so those are just a few ways for sure of ways our students are able to get involved at ECU specifically. I will end it on that note and open the floor to any questions I might have sparked. But of course, if you'd rather email us your questions, you can email us at transfer@ecu.edu, and we're always more than happy to help you in whatever way you need it.
All right. Well, thank you, Sydney. That was great information. My name is Erica Hoyt. I'm supporting Sydney today with the questions that have been coming through our Q&A. So we do have one question that just came through. How do we know as a student know which degree plan to follow if we're going to be transferring? Because this particular student wants to go into nursing, for example. So she went to the website and there's two different forms for nursing. So I'm assuming she's referring to Associates of Arts or Associates of Science and what direction to go to with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully wherever you are, you've already selected which direction you want to go. So you're either following an Associate of Arts or an Associate of Science path. Although nursing does get a little tricky, Erica, you can always clarify, jump into. There are definitely different paths to nursing. So if you're completing like an RN program at maybe Wake Tech, for example, that's going to be different and is not listed. I always point students to our nursing page as well for transferring. So nursing.ecu.edu, because there are different pathways and different options for transfer students. I would point you in that direction to see what the prerequisites are, because that's going to be the biggest thing that you want to get. For the most part, you want to make sure you meet all the transfer prerequisites for nursing. So if you're not seeing, maybe you're working on, I think, do they have an AGE in nursing as well that we accept? So if you're working on a different pathway, I would point you to the nursing.ecu.edu page to just make sure you're getting the prerequisites you need.
And great, Sydney. Something else to mention is we do have academic days, and we do have a nursing academic day coming up. Not this Friday, but the next Friday, so Friday the 13th. So they do a great job of providing information specific for nursing. They just spend the 30 minutes talking all about nursing. And then you also have an opportunity to do a virtual tour of their sim labs or simulation labs. So you get even more of a sense of what the program is all about. So that would be next Friday, and you can register on our admissions page under visit. So for the couple students, there was another question that came through to Sydney about nursing, is how many students graduate from your nursing program?
Oh, geez. I might not even know the answers. I know, so for fall, we have 130 seats. And then for spring, I think we have 75. Correct me if I'm wrong. And those are definitely always full. But like the nursing college in general, because like I mentioned, we have an ABSN, we have an RN to BSN. So I don't know those numbers off the top of my head. I know it's definitely a lot of nurses.
Yeah, and it's a broad question, but generally over 100 come in the fall or the spring. So they have those two cohorts that students can start with us. But yeah, we have so many different pathways coming into our nursing programs, and then graduate level programs if you want to keep going on to a variety of different areas within nursing.
Yeah, I know our NCLEX pass rate is super high. Is it like 98% on first?
98%, yeah.
So that's also a great thing too.
Another question came in, Sydney, is a student is looking to transfer for next fall. They're going to be finishing their associate degree next summer. So right before we start our August semester, will their degree still transfer?
Yes. Just yes.
Absolutely. So you just make sure you get that final transcript to us, because when you're going through the admissions process, we're not going to obviously see that completed work, the final that's showing your conferred degree. So just make sure that you have that last transcript sent in to us, verifying that you completed the degree, so we can make sure that we update your credits for the lower division of your courses being covered.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, there's another question that came through. Another student that has applied for next fall.
Great.
And they still have classes in the spring and they'll have classes in the summer. Was it okay that they applied this early?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Yes. There's never too late to apply. I always tell transfer students, if you want to apply for next year, almost kind of pretend like it's your senior year of high school. So seniors are applying right now to take advantage of definitely different deadlines, be prepared. So no, it is not too early at all. You could always send us what you have so far. And if we need more information, we need to wait for we need to wait and see what classes you register for in the fall. We can just get that from you once you're registered. So definitely not too early. It helps you kind of be ahead and get everything to us in a timely manner.
Great, yes. So another question came through about nursing. You were right. There are some nurses in the audience. What campus would you attend for nursing?
Absolutely. Majority of the students, so if you are completing your associate's degree, you're coming in and ready to start nursing, you will be majority on health science campus, if not everything on health science campus. So some students will only transfer after a year and have some classes still on main campus, but if you knock everything out, transfer right in and apply to nursing, then you will definitely have all of your classes over on the health science campus.
Great, yes. So I have a FAFSA question. So I have a student that will be coming in this coming spring in January, and they had a question about will their FAFSA still go through for the spring if they get it done as soon as possible?
Yes, definitely get it done as soon as possible. So if you've already been admitted, we definitely have sent your information to our financial aid office, but you want to make sure, like we just said, that you're adding us to the FAFSA for this year, and they typically start sending that out that information mid-November. So once they receive it, though, for you, you'll receive that back. So definitely add us as soon as you can. The sooner the better for spring.
Yes, exactly. A question about Pirate Promise. So with Pirate Promise, are you guaranteed to get into the program you want to get into?
No, it does not guarantee you admission to any, like I said before, those competitive programs. It just guarantees you admission to the university. So great question. Should have clarified that too.
But with Pirate Promise, there's a substantial amount of support and resources while you're moving through Pirate Promise. So you're aware of what the criteria requirements are needed for that particular program. So by the time it comes to making the full transfer, you already know that what it needs to get into the nursing program, the engineering program. So you're set to go. Another question came up, a question that we don't get very often, but can you explain what reverse transfer is?
Yes, definitely. So reverse transfer, what that would mean is, for me, for example, so I only went to Wake Tech for 1 year, and then I transferred to ECU. So I did not complete an associate's degree. So reverse transfer would have been, I come to ECU, complete the classes I would basically need for an associate's degree, which would be typically about a sophomore year. And then all I do is tell the registrar's office, they're going to send my credits from ECU back to Wake Tech. So reverse transfer them so that I can be awarded my associate's degree. So that hopefully clarifies that. So it's just a way, if maybe you didn't want to complete your associate's degree and want to transfer sooner, totally fine. Sometimes a great option depending on the major. And so that way you could still receive your associate's degrees, because that can be really important to some students. So reverse transferring, that's what that is.
Right, and you, just to piggyback on that, Sydney, when you do come in and you're enrolling with us, there is an opt-in screen that you get popped up for you that is specific to reverse transfers. You just click that, and then you are, it's really easy. You're in the program at that point, and then each semester your transcripts get sent back to whichever community college you're currently at or were at before coming to ECU. So another question came in, can you start in the fall as a junior while you take your last prerequisite class in the community college?
Yes. I had to think that through. Definitely, students do that all the time. So and obviously things are a little different, or maybe you're going to be an online student, but you could go ahead, transfer to ECU. And if there's like a general ed class that you want to just go ahead and knock out at your local community college, you can go ahead and do that, kind of be dually enrolled in a way. just something you'll want to make your advisor aware of. And kind of like we talked about earlier, you want to make sure you then send a new official transcript to get that credit once it's completed. So especially if it's a prerequisite, you just want to make sure you remember to send that official transcript in a timely manner to get that credit. Yeah, great question.
Yes, we do have a number of students that are dual enrolled. They might be finishing up that last class for nursing prereqs or an engineering for the engineering program, and they are dual enrolled. Typically, those students don't enroll in over, you have to cap out at 18 credits. So you might take 15 with us and then 3 with your community college. I don't have any more questions at this moment, Sydney.
Amazing.
Questions, everybody. I'm just really, really pleased to see all these great questions. Another question just came in, a really, really good one. So thank you for this participant. Do you have any helpful tips for like when you're transferring, when you're going through the process, just some advice or things to keep in mind?
Definitely. I think planning as soon as possible. Obviously, that's not always the case, and that's totally okay. But I always suggest trying to know maybe what you want to study before transferring, because I am a bad example, and I was in maybe 4 different programs before I found my right way. So I think trying to establish a place that you really want to start, and then using those resources to kind of know what classes you would need is definitely a huge suggestion. So just kind of having a plan, knowing what at least type of degree you want to pursue, if not the exact degree, so that you're able to just really utilize your time, utilize your money, just kind of maximize everything that you're doing. That's probably my biggest piece of advice. And then I always kind of advise students to also explore like campus before transferring. So a lot of students don't, and then you're kind of unaware of where things are. So definitely being able to visit campus, maybe living on campus could be a great suggestion too. And that's another piece that I always kind of throw out there as well.
Right. Getting to know the campus.
Yeah.
Before you make that big decision to come to Pirate Nation is, and you mentioned it right in the beginning, Sydney, about our campus tours, opportunities Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays to see it up close. And we have our students on campus, so you can ask them about their experience too, going through the application process. So we have another question that came through is regarding scholarships. Should you apply for a scholarship before, after, at the same time as the general application?
Great question. Didn't clarify that. So scholarships, you have to be admitted to apply to them. So if you are admitted after the scholarship deadline, you won't be able to apply to the scholarships. So scholarships are only for admitted students, but you will have access to them every year you're here. So keep that in mind as well. But no, you'll need to be admitted. So apply first and then apply to scholarships.
Right. And the student also asked about athletic scholarships, and that's a piece where we really do connect you directly with our athletic departments of whatever sport that might be. They do have contacts on the athletic page for the coaches and the assistant coaches. So you can always reach out to them for more information about that piece. It's different for each sport.
Really, yeah, it gets crazy. Usually you'll walk through that process before applying though, but yeah.
Absolutely. These are really fantastic questions. Do we have any more questions before we're almost coming to our end of our time? And if there's any questions that come up after today and you're like, I wish I'd asked that, we do have our transfer email, as Sydney already mentioned a few minutes ago, our transfer@ecu.edu. That's kind of our go-to email account that we direct all of our transfer students for everything. Inquiries, unofficial credit evaluations, sending transcripts, everything.
Well, I won't sit in awkward silence too much longer. Any last questions? All right, well, I'll cue Justin up unless someone thinks of something.
Cool. Thank you so much, Sydney and Erica, for that valuable information. Everyone, before we wrap up today's session, just some last little pointers. Again, this recording will be available in about a week. Also, if you go to our website, you can sign up for more sessions. That website is www.cacrao.org. And lastly, once we end this Zoom call, you will see a quick force question survey that'll pop up. Please take some time to fill it out. We appreciate any kind of feedback you can give us. Besides that, we hope everyone has a good day. See you.